This is the last part of 4.2a. On page 6 there's a general journal. Now what that is for is to take the information from your worksheet adjustment columns and put the adjusting entries there so that you can post from the journal to the general ledger to bring your accounts up to date. So as you're doing this, please look at the first half of the worksheet where it has the adjustments, the trial balance and the adjustment columns. We're going to be focusing on the adjustment. As you do the adjusting entries, kind of think of them as being as simple as ABC, because as you look at your adjusting entries, notice that in columns, the debit and credit columns, there are letters in parentheses like A, B, C, D, etc. And for each one there's an A debit and an A credit. So as we're starting this page, as in any journal page, you want to have the year and the month and the day. Always want to have the year, month, and day at the beginning of every page of a journal. Usually when you write in a journal, you write the debit, the credit, and the explanation. But in the adjusting entries, we're going to put the explanation first. So we're going to center adjusting entries. And now we're ready to look at the worksheet. So we're going to look at the adjustment debit column for the one that's labeled letter A. And that would be insurance expense. So we're going to write in insurance expense, and it's a debit. So we're going to put the debit in here for $260. Then we're going to indent, and you want to look at the credit column for letter A. That one is prepaid insurance. So we're going to indent and write prepaid insurance and put that over here. Then we're going to skip a line and we're going to look for letter B. So we need the date again. We're looking at letter B. Letter B is for depreciation expense equipment, and we're going to record that entry right here. That's for $780. So there's our debit. Then we're going to look for the B credit. So the B credit is the accumulated depreciation equipment. So that's the account we're going to credit, and it goes right there. Again, every time you have a journal entry, you must have an equal debit and credit. So now we're going to look for letter C. There is one, so we're going to skip a line. We still need the date. The C debit is to depreciation expense office furniture, so that's what we're going to write first, and that was for $470. We're going to credit the contra asset account, accumulated depreciation office furniture, and that takes care of that one. Then we're going to look for letter D. If there is a D debit, which there is, we're going to need the date again. The D debit is for depreciation expense truck. So that's our debit. The amount of that is $762. And we're going to be crediting the contra asset account, accumulated depreciation truck. That's our credit. And then we look for an E. And there is an E, so we need another date. And the last one is for salary expense. This is for salaries that have accrued after our last payday, and that's for $480. And because we have not paid them yet, it's salaries payable, our liability account. So that concludes all of the adjusting entries. In many cases there could be more, but we just had 5. So we have, what we're going to do here is affect 10 accounts in the general ledger. And we're going to bring several asset accounts up to date, and liability account up to date, and expense accounts up to date. If we didn't do this, our net income would be off, it would be overstated, and the worth of our assets would be overstated, and our liabilities would be understated. And that concludes this video.